Juan shot. Hola, ¿cómo estamos? This is Juan shot. And we're here playing Black Ops the Third. Now, we're about to do a tutorial that is for players who are new to first-person shooter games or shooter games in general. This may either help you, and like that. Okay, this is going to help you. If you're new to this, this might help you to either become a good player, or just survive, or you might not do good at all because you were never meant to play first-person shooters, and you should sell the game. No, okay. But anyways, we're gonna be doing a step-by-step process, and in the end, I'll share some tips and even some things that you might have not even known about Black Ops 3. So let's get started. First part of the tutorial is the controller. Now, a controller, you use it to play your game with. It's obvious. You use it to play your game. But anyways, it's like, you gotta kind of know how to use it. Even though most of you already know, a lot of you already know. But anyways, we're gonna start off with the top two buttons. As you can see on the screen, there's an R1, an L1 button that are in front of the controllers, and then there's an L2 and R2 button behind those that look like triggers. For Xbox, it's kind of the same thing, except it's left, the top two, where L1 and R1 are at, they're left bumper, right bumper, and then the two in the back are left trigger and right trigger. So L1 is to throw your tactical. It's for create a class. You get it in create a class. We'll show you that in the next video. L1 is to throw your lethal. Like lethal, I'm talking about a grenade, okay? As a tactical, I'm talking about something like a flashbang. And as you could now moving on, L2, as you could see, ADS means aim down the sight. If you have a weapon, you hold down L2 to aim down the sight of your weapon, so that way your shots become more accurate and you're hitting your target more. R2 on the side of it is to fire your weapon, as you can see. If you have a gun, you obviously fire. You fire your weapon. Now moving on, as you can see, there's an X button on the bottom. For Xbox players, that is the A button. The X, okay, so as you can see, it says to jump. X, you could just press it to jump up in the air, obviously, or you can mantle onto objects. If you want to climb on something, you could press X, or sometimes you have to double press X to get on top. Or there's like certain games where you could press X twice to use something, like I'm using Titanfall, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3 as an example, okay? Titanfall and Advanced Warfare, you can double press X, like you could press X to jump, and then press X again to initiate a boost to do a double jump. And like in Black Ops 3, you could press X once and then press and hold down the button a second time to use your thrusters, and you'll fly on into the air. Simple as that. Now above and right of it, you'll see a square button. It's the X button on Xbox. That's to reload your weapon. If you need to reload your weapon, your mag isn't empty and you want to reload it, you just press square, you reload your weapon, you're back to full mag. Or you can also use it to pick up a gun that's on the ground. Say if you kill an enemy and then you see their weapon laying on the ground, you want to use it, all you have to do is go nearby it, and then it will show press and hold square or X to pick up this weapon, all you have to do is hold the button, and then you have picked up that weapon. Now above X you see the triangle button. That is also the Y button for Xbox. That is to switch your weapon. Say you have a primary and a secondary. You have one using right now that you have in your hands, and then you have a pistol in your holster. You get to switch your weapon, pull out your pistol, and then switch it again if you want to go back to your assault rifle or your weapon. It's that easy. And then as you can see, beside a square you see the circle button. That is the B button on Xbox. You can press it to crouch, so it's easier to hide behind cover or something. It's mainly used for cover. If there are enemies shooting you, or if you want to hide, you could hold down circle to go prone and lay on the ground. If you're hiding in a good place, it increases your stealth if you go prone. But the only problem is that you're almost completely vulnerable to any dangers around you. So you have to be hiding in a good place when you're laying down. If you're hiding out in the open, unless you're facing that enemy, you're dead. Now, you can also slide. There are some certain games where you could slide, or you can dive. There are some games where you can dive onto the ground by just holding, which brings us to our next part of the controller, the left analog stick, which is in the middle, as you can see, where it says sprint and hold breath. Mainly it's used to move around. You can move around with it, just moving around. And if you press it down as if it were a button while you're moving, it would initiate sprint mode. And you'll run faster, but you won't be able to use your weapon for most games. And this is where the slide comes in. If you hold down circle while you're sprinting, it would initiate the slide motion. You'll slide on the ground, or you'll dive on the ground, either way. And then it brings us to our next point, the right analog stick. The right analog stick, you use it to look around. Find your enemy, do a 360. And you can also, that's also the melee button. If you press it down like as if you were to sprint, you can press the right analog stick, and then it would initiate melee, which is like you hit the person, or like most games you knife them. And now on top, above square, is the options button, which is objectives and menu. It's different for all the controllers. So if you're on PS4, the options button, it's like the start button on PS3. There's a start button close to where the area of the options button is. That's to pause the game, or if you're on multiplayer, again it's like pause, and then you could either choose to create choose your created class, or you could press down on the option, or there's an options, and then quit game. You can use it to quit the game as well. For Xbox 360 is the same thing. Around that area there's a start button, does the same thing. Xbox One, it's the same thing, but the symbol's a little bit different. Instead of saying start, I think it shows 3 overlapping boxes, but it still works the same as if it were a start button. Now, moving on, as you can see right there in the middle of the controller, that big button, that's check the scoreboard on multiplayer to see how you're doing, you know? You want to check to see how many kills or how many deaths you got, what your score is, etc. Again, it's a little bit different. For PS3, it's a little bit different, because on the side of the start button is the select button. That's pretty much does the same action as the big button on the PS4 does. And then Xbox 360, right beside the start button is a button called the back button. It reads back on the top of the button. And that pretty much does the same thing as the select button. And then on Xbox One, there's a there's a button right beside of the one with the 3 overlapping boxes. Instead, it shows 3 lines. That might be the select button, pretty sure, but again, I haven't studied the Xbox One controller, so I don't exactly know about it. And last but not least, as you can see on the side, opposite of the 4 buttons over there, is the directional pad, also known as the D-pad for short. It's used for kill streaks or score streaks if you're playing on Call of Duty. There are other uses for it if you're playing on different shooter games, but mainly for Call of Duty, they're used to, if you were to press the right button on the D-pad, that's to use the score streak. Use the score streak that you're currently on, that you have, if you haven't unlocked or something, right? And if you have multiple score streaks or kill streaks, then you could scroll through them up and down by using the up and down button on the D-pad. Also, some other things to mention that I forgot to mention. Same thing where it shows the sprint button as you've seen a while back. It's the hold button. That's for if you have a sniper rifle. If you want to get a more accurate shot, you hold down on it to hold your breath, and then boom, take your shot. And then there are such things as like this is mainly for Black Ops 3. If you have a specialist, and you want to use their weapon or ability, it's kind of different depending on the way you want to have them. So in a nutshell, you press the tactical and the lethal button at the same time. So if you have L2 and R2 as the aim and fire your weapon, you press the L1 and the R1 button at the same time. If the bar is filled up, it'll show on the side that it will show your specialist weapon or ability. It would show it charging. If it gets filled up and it shows that you can use it, you just press the L1 and R1 button, or throw your tactical and lethal button. But anyways, yeah, that is it for the controller tutorial. I hope that helped if you didn't know. And go ahead and follow me on Twitch at Juanshot with an underscore. Also, you can subscribe to me on YouTube at Juanshot. So anyways, thank you, and as always, have a nice day.